but the woman. He said to her, Woman, where are your accusers? Has no man condemned you? And she said, No man, Lord. And Jesus said unto her, Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. We're going to be talking about pardon. Pardon. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you and give you praise for everything that you're going to do this day. We hold you up, Father, above all things. So whatever we even think, Lord, let us all get our minds in harmony to think on you. And give you praise, give you honor, and give you glory. In the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. Pardon. The word pardon means, and I think most of us know the meaning, to forgive a person for an offense. To forgive a person for an offense. A person can only be pardoned if they are guilty of an act. If they're guilty of an act. The power of pardon is very dangerous. Very dangerous in the wrong hands. For instance, our presidents have the authority to pardon. And just about every president pardons someone when they're going out of office. Because if they pardoned them when they were in office, it would raise big controversy because they're really letting the guilty go free. So they always do it going out of office. Nixon did it. Gerald Ford did it. Jimmy Carter did it. Bill Clinton did it. Ronald Reagan did it. They all did it. Going out of office, but never while they were in office. So it's very dangerous in the wrong hands. Even our former president, George Bush, did it. And he got in conflict with the former vice president, Dick Cheney, because he didn't pardon somebody Cheney thought should have been pardoned. So they are at war now. But because Cheney wanted him to pardon somebody that was sure enough guilty, and the president had authority to set him free. So a pardon is for ones that are definitely guilty. Which brings us to John chapter 8. Because in John chapter 8, there was no question that this woman was guilty. She was more than guilty. The word says that they caught her in the very act of adultery. You can't get more guilty than that. So she was guilty of that offense. And they caught this woman. And when they caught this woman, you know this wasn't hearsay or somebody said what she did. It said that they caught her while she was in the midst of the sin that she was doing. So we know that she did it. There is no question that she did it. But it just so happened that when they caught her, they wanted to bring her to Jesus. And Jesus woke up early that morning and he was doing some teaching in the temple. So see, Jesus was in worship teaching when they brought this woman to Jesus. And if you can't see that, he was in the church preaching when they brought the woman in the church for Jesus. So they stopped the service and threw the woman at Jesus' feet and said, we caught her in the act of adultery. Which means Jesus had to stop teaching to deal with this situation because they disrupted the whole teaching session and the whole worship session. So here's this woman at Jesus' feet. Here's these scribes and Pharisees who obviously had to be looking at her when she was sinning. They had to be looking at her. How you not going to catch somebody if you're not looking? Okay, come on, y'all. Come on now. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So they were getting, these were religious folk too. So you had to wait for her to get into it with whoever so you can say, I caught you in the act. So it wasn't like they were getting ready and they grabbed her. They said they caught her in the act. But she couldn't act alone. But we're going to deal with that other one later. But let's They brought her to Jesus, threw him at Jesus' feet and said, what should we do? What should we do? And they said, look, the law of Moses said we should stone her to death. And they were right, because that's what the law of Moses said. If you catch somebody in adultery, you stone them to death. So they were absolutely, positively correct. And Jesus said nothing. But he just stooped down and started writing on the ground. So they said, well, what do you say, Jesus? And Jesus wrote on the ground some more. And, paraphrasing what Jesus said, okay, you're absolutely right. She should be stoned to death. So in essence, Jesus agreed with her. I agree. Jesus said, I agree with you. She needs to be stoned to death. But Jesus said, look, I agree. She needs to be stoned to death. But let the one that does not have sin throw the first stone. So Jesus did not disagree with them. He just agreed with them, but said, let the one that is sinless throw the first stone. Jesus said, I agree. Everybody see that? Everybody see that Jesus agreed with them. Jesus didn't say, I'll leave her alone. I agree with you. Hit her with the rock. Now, I want to stop here for a minute because I want to bring out three things. There were three things working in this scenario. Number one, the first thing were the people that were about to throw the rocks. That's scenario number one, or situation number one. You had people there ready to throw rocks at this woman, to stone her, to kill her for committing the act of adultery for sin. That's scenario number one. These people came to worship service that day when Jesus was teaching, not to learn, but to trap and to deceive. See, everybody don't come to a worship service to worship. Some people come to worship service already ready to fight. I mean, even today, even in churches today, everybody don't come to church to worship the Lord. Some people already come geared up for a fight. When I come to church, this is what we're going to do. And it ain't praising the Lord, amen? So these people already came with the plan, and the plan wasn't to glorify God. It was to trick, deceive, and trap Jesus. This was the plan. So these are the people that have the rocks and that are about to throw the rocks. They're about to throw the rocks, but their hearts were already messed up. But yet they're going to throw it at somebody else, and their heart's not even right. This is scenario number one. And they are about to throw a rock, and they're not even right. They're coming in, and they didn't have sense enough to know that, the light of the word, or the light of the world was right in front of them that they brought it to. Because they were so clouded in darkness that they couldn't see the light. They came to the light, but they're still in darkness. People come to church and they're still in darkness. How you going to come to church and be mad still? How you going to come and still be upset? You still got an issue, but you're coming to the light, and you see the light, or maybe you don't see the light, and you still got it. How do you do that? How do these men come to church, see Jesus, and try to deceive the light of the world? So this is scenario number one. And anybody that picks up a rock and want to throw it to you, they don't see the light either. They don't see the light. Because everybody got rocks picked up and thrown at you before. One way or another. So scenario number one, you had people about to throw the rocks. Scenario number two was the woman. You had the woman in the situation. The woman was about to be hit by the rocks. The woman about to be hit by the rocks. They caught her in the act? Yes, she did it. Yes, she did it. She did it. She sure enough did it. They caught her in it. So she did not say she was innocent. That was not her plea. She did it. She said nothing to